Hi, my name is Dawson. I'm the co-founder of Proversity.org. I think if you've got a PhD, it's a very good start, basically, because if you don't have a PhD, when you're talking to the investment community in particular, you're going to have one hand tied behind your back. If you've just got a normal undergraduate degree or even less than that, then it's basically a hygiene factor that investors like the fact that people have PhDs, so it's a really good head start. But don't take that as being a fact that you are actually any better than anybody else, because really when you're actually out there trying to make money, PhD isn't going to be particularly helpful to you. That said, the main thing is really if you have a unique knowledge or a unique piece of research, how can you actually monetize that and apply the learning, and the application of what you've learned is going to be absolutely critical. So Proversity is a full-service digital education provider. We build content, deliver technology solutions and provide instructional design support for universities and enterprise clients. I came from the customer base that I am now actually selling to, so we work in an extended enterprise. So we work particularly with building and developing learning materials for big enterprise clients, but they're delivering that to potential hires, to the customer base, and also for internal training as well. The way that we did the product analysis was to actually just test it by working with 3 different customers, and because I come from the actual sector that we were delivering to. So we run a turnkey digital education service for universities, extended enterprise and government. So a typical use case would be that we would build a course delivered for a client. They would start with non-digital materials. We would create digital materials for them. We'd then create the digital platform on which that sits, and we'd also offer instructional design support for them, which would mean that they would know what good teaching looks like. And then we then get out there, deliver that for them, and then offer a support mechanism for people going through that course on behalf of that client as well. So we are using a technology system that was developed by Harvard and MIT, which is called the EDX Platform, which is based locally here in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It's a open source, massive open online course delivery platform. It's a Django and Python platform, so we have a full in-house programming and development team that supports on top of that open source technology. There's 3 customer segments that we operate in. They're all B2B and they're all classed as extended enterprise. The 3 client bases that we work with are enterprise, higher education and government. The value proposition that we deliver is a full turnkey solution for the delivery of digital materials for education online. We're currently a B2B model, and I think increasingly we will turn to becoming a B2B2C model. So we have 35 staff operating across 3 continents. It's basically split into 3 different areas. 1/3 is technology, 1/3 is customer services and sales, and then the other third is standard delivery of educational materials. So the distribution channels that we operate are working in partnership with some clients, with some people that provide us both sales opportunities and also then supporting third-party organisations in partnership with other organisations. But the main distribution way of working is through direct sales. So the main revenue stream for us is services. We're going to be moving towards a different model in the future, but at the moment it's we do take some money for the technology product, but the majority of the money that we make is from services on top of the technology product rather than the product itself. So it's not a subscription model, although that's something that we're looking at in the future. The cost structure is nearly all the money goes on employees, and one of the things that we do to try and maintain a low cost model is distributing where staff are, so we operate out of the UK, the US and South Africa. 3 key activities that we do are instructional design, technology development and content production. So it's physical video production with motion graphics, etc. It is the development of technology solutions for clients, and then the third one is educational and instructional support for clients as well. Key partners for us are Harvard and MIT through the EDX platform, so that's probably our primary relationship that we have to maintain. Increasingly we'll be looking at different partners around the world, but that's our #1 partner at the moment. So we found a niche in the market which is extended enterprise. We see that education and digital education in particular is going to be a massive growth market over the next few years. We see that education needs to develop beyond what it is at the moment. And we see that universities, enterprise and governments are sat on trillions of dollars worth of content assets. We want to help them be liberated and delivered to audiences around the world, whether it be in India, Africa, Latin America or the US. It's a real opportunity for us. The best form to monetize video content in our world is looking at academic accreditation of the videos. So what's the value of the videos? Why is somebody going to do it? What do they get out of it? We first used our minimal viable product back in December 2014, so we had it developed very early on. The way that we were able to get that up and running as quickly as we were was it was based on existing technology. The way that we tested that was basically in a live fire environment by working directly with clients and delivering for their users, and we highly recommend that as a way forward. The way that we've scaled the company is through a mix of looking at where people are based and how we base, and then the other way of scaling was through investment. The underpinning technology is built for scale, so it's ready to deliver to 11 million people right now. So it was then just the question of how you actually scaled up the team, both in terms of senior management and day-to-day delivery. I think the number one tip for anybody starting up a company is just get on with it. To start up a company is a very easy thing. Anybody can do it. It's like falling off a log. The critical thing, or the more difficult thing, is actually scaling a company. So I think far too much focus is put on actually building a company in the first place. I think really what you're looking for is planning for success. How are you going to scale up your company after it has been a success? Because putting in place processes and operations and a scaling human resource is the really tricky bit, rather than actually starting a company in the first place.